you can go a very long time letting people convince you that you're wrong for expressing yourself. It took me a while to really understand that. You can't tell me how I should respond to being mistreated.
Mm.
So if I feel you mistreating me and I don't like what's going on here, or if I don't feel you hearing me out, I can respond however I feel. That isn't me putting my hands on you or doing anything harmful. Like if I choose to not want to talk no more ever, that's okay.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today we got a very special guest in the building, repping the West Side. Dropped his most recent single, Damn Crazy. He's a founding member of Pivot Gang. Man, go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, well, it's me. I'm Mfn Melo. You know, that's a motherfucking Melo if you're into that.
On your Illinois radio interview, you put emphasis on the fucking motherfucking.
No, it's for sure emphasis. I just ain't know if I can curse yet. That was me filling it out. Oh yeah, well, I'm for sure motherfucking Melo. You feel me?
Definitely gonna talk about that. You went into detail on Illinois, so I'm not gonna make you go over that again. But man, I want to open up with your perception and your view of how the inception of Pivot Gang happened. Right, I've gotten the story from fucking Fresh. Fresh is one of the original members, founders. So for you, talk about the inception of the group from your point of view.
It didn't always start as Pivot. When we originally started making music together in that basement, before Fresh was involved, it was me, Sab, Joe, a couple of other friends from high school, and Sab and Joe cousin, and we was called something totally different. Then we started to that started to teeter off. We ran across Fresh and his homies, and then we started making music with them. We had to call ourselves something new. So the inception of Pivot was like my second breath as a group member. It was tight. It was tight to see it transform into that. Then to see today where that going, it's like, oh damn.
Oh, you guys went crazy. You went on a whole tour.
Several.
What were the two fucking names of the groups, if you can say it?
The one before it was called The Rally.
And Fresh's?
I think they was called like Hang Time or something like that.
You guys, merged it all together. You became one group. Obviously, like you said, the history shows it was two separate groups, and Fresh was a part of the other one. It was you, Saba, and Joe, and one.
With some other friends. Yeah.
When I think of Pivot, I think of you four, and then obviously, Squeak and John Walt.
For sure.
And Damn, shout out
Yeah.
Damn.
Day Day too. Don't forget about Day Day.
Oh, there you go, Day Day, right? But as I've talked to Fresh, and he mentions, the original members, there's you four.
Yeah.
But Fresh was in the other one. So for you, what do you feel like Fresh brought that was missing to the group?
We all super chill and Fresh is not. So that's what he brought. You feel me? Like me, Joe, and Sab collectively are very chill and reserved individuals. Joe probably not so chill, but even Joe chill. He just different chill. But but Fresh is like outspoken. He's gonna talk to everybody, whether he know you or not. You know what I'm saying? He kind of the one that got us outside and moving around and just into these different spaces.
So then what did that merger look like for you guys at first? Obviously, you guys are all brothers now, but when that first happens, it's not like it instantaneously just clicks for
It kind of
everybody.
was though. It kind of was. Yeah, when I went over there like randomly just to like play video games and play basketball, like I didn't really go to rap. And I kind of just stayed after that. So when Fresh came, it's very welcoming down there. Like I said, we all chill, so it's easy to get in the fold and get in the mix, and especially if you got good energy. We don't really ask for nothing. We don't really require too much from one person. So it was pretty seamless. He came over with their cousin, and then started coming back even more than their cousin was. So it's like it worked out.
What's your favorite moment with Fresh? I'm asking you about Fresh because we've obviously sat down with him.
No, it's cool, man. Me and Fresh, man, joined at the hip, man, so it's cool. My relationship with Fresh is very interesting. That's like my brother. We bicker and we argue back and forth. You would think that we didn't like each other. But I love him dearly. You feel me? I just like getting on his nerves.
I heard it in an interview. I don't know if somebody had told me, but when you guys are on tour, there's one person that you got into it with, like just like a friendly argument.
Oh yeah, Fresh.
But you had to like pick him up and put him down or some shit like that.
I don't think I ever had to pick up Fresh and put him down, even though he deserves that. But I don't know. I don't think that was me.
No,
No. I don't know what that one is.
I don't remember.
It could be a thing, but it wasn't with Fresh. I don't think. I ain't never had to get physical with Fresh, even playfully.
So for you then, all of you guys come from the West Side. It's something that Fresh talked about. A lot of the times, even when you go into interviews, you find that West Side reputation kind of building a camaraderie between you and whoever you're talking to, right? How do you feel like the West Side has helped shape the Mellow we see today?
It's just giving me a sense of pride. It's giving me a sense of community. It's giving me an old soul. You feel me? It's kept me youthful at the same time.
How so?
The West Side is full of energy. So you're gonna get that when you're outside. You know what I'm saying? When you're involved with the people that live there. And I just feel like naturally the West Side houses a lot of older folk. You know what I'm saying? So it's an old soul kind of to it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are kind of like from the southern places, so it gives you a southern feel. And I feel like I adapted a lot of that from like being around like my aunties and uncles and my grandparents and other old folks around the neighborhood and stuff like that. Like just picking up from my surroundings, I feel like it keeps me multifaceted.
Were you raised by your grandparents?
No, I wasn't. I just my parents are just older, so like they feel like grandparents.
You didn't mention them, so I'm like, I know Fresh had talked about it, how he was raised
I just
by
really
his
like old
grandparents.
people. I wasn't raised by my grandparents though. Unfortunately, most of my grandparents passed like in my earlier high school years. But I did have other older people around me. So I wasn't too far removed from it, but they weren't my grandparents.
Being raised by older people, there's a lot of good that comes with that. I'm sure there was a lot of good sayings that were beat into your head as a kid.
For sure.
But when we talked, you mentioned bad habits. And a lot of the times when people talk about these certain neighborhoods or even growing up in certain circumstances,
For sure.
bad habits get instilled into you.
Actually.
What are some of those bad habits that come to mind when you think of you and the West Side growing up there?
I'm trying to think of something without incriminating myself. But no, it's just bad habits like bad eating habits could be one. Bad always looking for a shortcut. You know what I'm saying? Like a finesse isn't always the thing to do. You know what I'm saying? My relationship with like alcohol and smoking and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure I picked that up from being around. Things that I know aren't like necessarily like the most bad thing to do in the world, but like compiling these things throughout the years could be detrimental for sure.
You see how it impacts you. You see the toll it takes on your body, but also your mental,
For
right?
sure.
And it's something you talk about in your song "Damn Crazy" with your vices.
I lean on vices when coping is basically what I was saying. And that's true. I smoke a lot. I tend to drink more when I know I'm dealing with a lot of excessive stuff, and just being mindful of that has allowed me to slow down. Just being able to tell myself, "Oh, that is probably too much." Like even though I'm cool, I'm still getting everything done, having a great time. Business is still going. Still just knowing the toll that you're taking, even without it being a visible toll.
When was the first time you started to notice that, like, hey, I'm using these vices to cope with certain things?
Oh, I noticed that early on. I noticed that at a very, not a very young age, but I definitely noticed it a while back. It's probably like, I don't know, somewhere around like 2018. I noticed that it was just becoming a thing that when things happen that are uh, crazier than normal, um, I usually suppress the things with substances, you feel me? Such as alcohol and weed.
What do you feel like's the moment that sticks out when you think of that?
I don't think there's a particular moment. I just think it's just when I notice it like becoming like so natural and secondary, and like you know what I'm saying, like oh it's just a normal Tuesday. Oh, it's not even 3 o'clock yet. Then you getting there. You feel me? So it's just like noticing things that when they become like, all right, this was cool when I was just doing the here or there. You feel me every other day or something like that. But when it's coming like when it's only like 2 or 3 days out the week where I'm not lit, it's like, all right, you need to chill out.
Obviously, there's times in your life where you start to notice, like, hey, I need to slow down on certain things, right? The thing that's always kept me at bay from like taking that route was my not my uncle, my cousin. He's like 20 years older than me. My cousin had told me when I was younger, I was like 12. He's like, you never want to drink just because you're angry or you're sad or because you're feeling a negative emotion. Alcohol is supposed to be used as a party enhancer, not as a suppressor.
Right.
So for me, taking that knowledge and applying that to everyday life whenever it came to, okay, I'm going through some shit, but is this really going to solve the problem? You also mentioned another coping mechanism is laughing.
I laugh at everything, even things that I probably shouldn't laugh at sometimes.
And for you, overcoming certain traumas and certain, like you said, substantial things that have happened in your life but aren't technically ordinary at that moment, right? Specifically, death, it's something that's followed not only you but the group, unfortunately. Talk about the significance of John Wall and Squeak to you.
Them my brothers. I hate when I always got to talk about them because not because of the emotion that's attached to it, it's because I speak about them. You would think that I wasn't as close with the other guys, and that's not true. But there just was a certain likeness that I shared with those two, and it was a certain bond that we had. I spent a lot of time with them two, particular. Uh, so it was like losing like real brothers. You know what I'm saying? So it was just their impact on me has done way more than like I could even explain for real. A lot of the things that I do, a lot of things that I say, how I choose to be, are because I was encouraged to be who I was. You know what I'm saying? By them in particular. So like you know what I'm saying, I owed a lot about Mfn Melo is from like being with them and them pushing me to be every part of me that they saw me being. You feel me? So they close to me, and they gonna always be close to me. And they gonna always be with me, because a lot of these ways and things and ideas that I probably was hesitant to do, I'm only doing because they pushed me.
Squeak was your producer and DJ. That was somebody that you literally have a joint project with. And John was somebody that you would go to for everything. You would just, like you said, that tour right after it happened, you found yourself lost at times because
Yeah, that's what I'm talking to. Yeah,
what are some of those characteristics that each of them instilled into you?
I think they really just taught me how to be comfortable in my decisions and what I was portraying because it was enough. You know what I'm saying? I think they just let me know that what I was doing, I was on the right path. I just gotta walk into it like purposefully and not just like stumble upon it. You know what I'm saying? Not just like tiptoe around it, but like run in that direction because that's golden and that's you. Like they just encouraged me to like embody everything that I already was trying to, but just was hesitant to for whatever reason.
What do you think it was that made you so hesitant?
I'm naturally just reserved, but a lot of the things that I'm great at recalls like like I can be a people person, but I don't really want to be a people person. You know what I'm saying? Like people love me, but I kind of like hate attention. So it's like I had to like just get over some of those feelings and whatnot. If I wanted to take the music and everything else to the level that it could be, I had to tap into the motherfucking. You know what I'm saying? I had to really embrace it and be that. You know what I'm saying? And I think I'm doing that.
Previously, you said by me being mellow, I don't talk much. I tend to watch a lot and process information that way.
hmm
Right now, you're talking about, the fact that you're mellow, you like to be by yourself, you like to stay reserved. You feel like that was because of where you grew up?
I think it was because of how I grew up more so. Like I said, my parents are older and I'm like the youngest. So I was with them a lot. Or if I wasn't with them, I was probably with another adult of some sort. You feel me? Most of my cousins are like older than me too. You feel me? I got a couple cousins that's around my age, but I was around a lot of other older people, so it's just you know what I'm saying? Back then, like you supposed to just sit and watch, not talk. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just I got comfortable in that. since I wasn't around a lot of people my age.
Just being a bystander, basically. You got to sit by and watch.
I'm just chilling. I'm do what I need to do, and I ain't got no reason to talk it. I'm the child, like. But yeah, I'm used to being to myself. I'm used to entertaining myself. Um, so it just made it easier to just be to myself.
I like your story because it's more on the calm side.
No, no, no.
You
I'm
know.
I'm super chill. I'm super
Yeah.
chill.
Because a lot of people I talk to from certain neighborhoods, they'll say, "Man, it really did fuck them up in a certain way, whether it was mentally or it just put them in positions that they didn't necessarily need to be in early on, right?" And for you, it's different. So I like being able to hear the positive in someone's story.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, my bad shit wasn't like no wild shit like that. You feel me? It's just like, you know what I'm saying, regular West Side shit.
So then the motherfucking part, bro. It's an alter ego of yours, obviously. It's something you
For
gotta tap
sure.
into
For
on
sure.
stage.
As a human being, I'm naturally expressive. You feel me? And the expressions aren't always gonna be chill. And I just think that's normal. I think a lot of times people may just pick a side, like, oh, I'm wild all the time. Or like, but then some people, and they try to hold on to that. Or some people be like, nah, I'm chill, don't nothing really bother me. And they try to hold on to that. And I think it limits them in ways. And I feel like I don't like to look at this as a alter ego or like a Ti versus TIP kind of thing, because I like it's all one person. You feel me? And it's all just how I feel in the moment. Sometimes I'm super chill, and sometimes I'm not. Because
Why was it important for you to lean into that?
I think a lot of times I spent time being too cool. You feel me? I was trying to be too mellow. You feel me? And I was letting a lot of things that bothered me go by. I was letting a lot of situations that I didn't necessarily enjoy being. Um, I was staying in them. You feel me? And I feel like the minute I decided to stop playing it so cool and stop trying to be so likable and enjoyable to be around, that I really allowed myself to fully express myself. I think that was the most important thing in my life. Was to like not always mellow, so I'm not gonna always act like you just pissed me off. You should know that.
Being able to express certain emotions, being able to leave certain situations. Why do you feel like that was important for you? Do you feel like you were limiting yourself in certain
A thousand
situations?
percent. A thousand percent. Um, I feel like whenever you're not fully allowing yourself to be yourself and express whatever it is you may be feeling, you are limiting yourself in some capacity. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's relationship, whether it's a job and a career, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's a friendship, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's just like what you want to eat today. You know what I'm saying? But if you're limiting yourself, like you're not doing no service to what you're trying to become or like just how you want to feel in a moment. So I think it was important for me to just like acknowledge all my feelings, even if it's an angry one and it's an aggressive one. I don't have to live in that. I don't have to be that all the time. But I shouldn't ignore it and be like, no, that's cool. Because it wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just best to express yourself. Never get caught up in the emotion. But to not acknowledge it is rude.
It's rude to
For
yourself.
sure. Most
It's
importantly.
unfair to
Yeah,
yourself.
the service.
When it comes to relationships, you find yourself in positions where you have to compromise how you feel because the other person doesn't either want to accept it or they don't care enough. And if you're with somebody that doesn't care enough, then right there, that's another disservice to
Yeah, you're
yourself.
already doing wrong.
So I found myself in positions where I'm not gonna hold back because it's gonna upset you. No, I gotta let you know. And if you choose to not be a part of this anymore, then that's on you. But I'm not gonna allow myself to feel upset and angry because you don't know how to communicate or allow me to communicate.
That's just really what it is. And like if you don't understand that, you can go a very long time letting people convince you that you're wrong for expressing yourself. It took me a while to really understand that. That like I'm not really wrong for being upset. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't tell me how I should respond to being mistreated.
Mm.
So if I feel you mistreating me and I don't like what's going on here, or if I don't feel you hearing me out, I can respond however I feel. That isn't me putting my hands on you or doing anything harmful. Like if I choose to not want to talk no more ever, that's okay. If I choose to want to disassociate, that's okay for me to do that, and I shouldn't feel bad for doing that.
How did situations like that impact you mentally?
Once again, just giving me that stamp that squeaking walk was that like no, stand on what you feel. No, if that's how you want to do it, I think that's right. Feel me? As long as you're not harming or hurting nobody, go for it. It just stumped me. It let me know to stand tight in my thoughts and my feelings because they were valid.
So speaking about John and Squeak, where do you feel like you are in that healing process?
I don't know honestly. If I can keep it a buck, I couldn't tell you where I was. I know that I mean naturally I'll never be over it, but I feel like I'm in a space. And this is kind of how I am with a lot of things. Like I don't like it's horrible that my friends aren't here and that I can't be with them and stuff like that. Um, but I'm here, and I can't spend a lot of time being upset. They're not. They wouldn't even want me to spend my time like that. So I feel like though that may not be the best way to think all the time, I feel like that's actually how I've been moving. So I feel like my healing process is the nice ways along. That shit get me emotional if I think about it enough. Like those feelings are never gonna go away, but like I don't think I'm to a point where it will stop me from doing anything because whatever I got to do is for them because they would have been on this. I mean, I know that for a fact. So it's like anything I do that stops us getting to it is a disservice to them in my eyes.
Whenever you lose somebody, especially somebody that's close to you, you reflect on the moments you have with them. And you always want to keep in mind, what would they want from me? What would they want me to be doing to honor them? I know when it came to John, it was something that really bothered you because you had talked to him 5 minutes before
Oh
anything
yeah,
had
for sure,
happened.
for sure. I mean, literally the same thing with Quickie though. They're my niggas, so I talk to them daily all the time. So like it's literally the same situation. Yeah, they're my brothers. Like I talk to them every day. You know what I'm saying? Before they finna bust a move, I'm talking to them. You feel me? I'm frequently like they're my brothers, like locked in.
So how'd that affect you?
Dang. See, I told you I laugh at shit I shouldn't.
But obviously, like the situation, because it's the same, it's gonna affect you the same. But how do you feel like it impacted you mentally after it all had gone down?
Just thoughts I deal with. I mean, I feel like this time it was better because I knew from the first time that I shouldn't blame myself, so I didn't have to deal with that whole thought process. So I think this time it was much better on me because I just knew how to respond to it mentally.
That's a crazy trauma to have to face.
I would never even look at it like, oh my God, is it crazy? It's natural because they're my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else would have happened? Like, if something would happen to somebody else, that's my brother. I probably would have probably talked to them a minute ago because that's just how I am with my brother.
You've said previously that all the stuff that goes into doing music correctly, I wasn't aware or did not take the time to really care about it.
For sure.
What was some of the stuff that you were pushing to the side?
The behind the scenes work that goes into making an album or a project reach the masses. Feel me? It's definitely way more than just hitting upload. Feel me? I think we went through an era in SoundCloud where it made it think like that's all you had to do.
For the people that don't know what that process is like, kind of break it down for them.
I mean, it's just a lot of moving pieces, honestly. I'm still figuring it out, even after doing it so many times, because it's no one way to do it. There's no one right way to do it either. So it's like it's kind of like a Rubik's cube that you're like just twisting and shuffling, trying to make the pieces work. But it's a lot, man. It's a lot of that goes into playlisting. Um, of course, they're simpling it down these days and they make it so that all you got to do is apply for it. But realistically, um, if you don't know people, it's not gonna go how you would like it to go.
Sometimes you got to get lucky too that some shit blows up.
1,000%. There's a lot of luck involved with it. Hard work and luck go hand in hand.
Were some of those things that you were talking about in that quote personal things, some things that you had to deal with?
As far as like the behind the scene things,
When you say that the music came easy, but having to deal with everything else, the things that come with it, right? There's more to that than just business. There's personal things that you're going through and you put it into the music, but once you put it into the music, you forget about it. You're like, all right, cool.
1,000%. Like I got a daughter. I got a daughter, and when I didn't have a daughter, I was taking care of my nephew. So I've always felt like the last 8 years, I've had a child that I was responsible for. Most rappers are just doing this. I gotta work, gotta take care of kids, and I gotta be a rapper. Feel me? So I get way less time if I don't manage it right. I'm SOL. Feel me? So it's just like I for sure had to manage all that. Still managing it to this day. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my skill set. I'm grateful for my community. Um, they have allowed it to be. I'm grateful for the mother of my child. I'm grateful for my mother who've helped me with my nephew.
Do you feel like that's how you realized that you can't sit with just one emotion for too long?
Yeah, I learned that from my mother. She probably don't do it as best as you should, but the idea I got from her, just watching her, uh, she never really let too much stop her. But she did, you know what I'm saying? I could tell when something was affecting her. So she didn't just brush past it. She probably didn't handle it as best or acknowledge it as much as she probably should have. But you learn from the past. So yeah, that is how I learned to just deal with it because I just had to deal with things. So it's like, all right, am I gonna let this stop me from being what I want to be, or am I just gonna work with it? And I chose to work with it. So like I can't be caught up in the emotion of damn, I don't have as much time as everybody else. So man, I have all these other responsibilities. Like, all right, so what? Do you want to do it? Or do you not?
Someone important you mentioned is your daughter. How do you feel like she's helped you heal from everything that you've experienced?
She just showed me that it don't stop with me. So it's like, I have to heal. She just put a lot of different things in perspective though. So it just daily reminders that some of this shit don't really matter. Certain shit matters way more.
And in the song Ties by Ed Sheeran, he says, I have grown up, I am a father now. Everything has changed, but I am still the same somehow. I love that lyric. I'm not a dad, but I love that lyric because, in reality, everybody's changing every single day. But when you look back, the core values that you have, they maintain the same. Nothing really changes about you except certain situations that have changed your mindset and you just grow mentally, right? But for you becoming a dad, that means a whole different thing because now you have somebody else that you got to look after. You have a whole new life you got to take care of. I know you had your nephew before, but now this is actually
Yeah, it's
your life
mine.
you
It
got to
looks
take
like me
care
and
of.
everything.
So then how did having your daughter change everything for you?
It made me move faster and slower at the same time.
How so?
I had way less time to waste, but I found myself making more time to spare. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I use my time wisely, I can be a great rapper and a great dad. My focus was just on rapping for a point. But her slowing me down and making me focus on other things allowed me to get other things in my life, perspective, which in return allowed me to get so like put a fire in me, but also gave me a calmer spirit.
What do you feel like was one of those things you had to get in order as she was coming?
My health, my habits, my time management.
Time management's huge for you, bro. You really be going through it, huh?
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure, for sure. But I really got more time than I think. I don't always use it wisely.
I'm just like everybody. Everybody has their flaws. Everybody has their things that they spend way too much time on, right? I think that realistically, if I wanted to, I don't need to spend a whole day researching, writing an outline, doing all this shit. But I do it because I want to have the best interview possible. Realistically, though, I stress myself out about the fact that we're about to have an interview and I need to get shit ready, which makes me sit there for like an hour stressing about the fact that I'm gonna do it. And then another hour trying to watch the shit, but also take notes. So it's just like a whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, for sure.
Everybody at the end of the day could be better about their time management. It's just about how you do it, right? So then looking back from that kid in the basement, how has your daughter helped you grow? How have all these things helped you grow?
Again, it all goes back to time. Time is an illusion. It's like the greatest magic trick ever.
You be feeling old, bro?
I am old. I'm factually old.
But do you feel old?
Do I feel older than I am? Sure, 1,000%.
No, I'm saying, do you feel old? Like you got aches and pains already, bro?
No. I don't. I don't actually. I'm good. You feel me? I'm limber. You feel me? I just I feel like my soul is old. I feel like my nerves are old. You feel me? So it's like I don't be having a lot of time to waste. I think my life, my child has showed me that the most.
Do you reflect a lot on how far you've come?
All day. No, I don't. I don't at all, actually.
Really?
I just lied to you. Because if I did, I would be more appreciative of the moment.
I mean, the fact that you guys, started this all in a basement, just chilling, being homies, being like for real friends. A lot of people don't get to go to the top with their homies. A lot of the times we have different interests from them. A lot of the times we just fall out with them. And unfortunately, we can't take everybody with us all the time. But something that Pivot has continuously done is bring everybody and stay together.
I'm proud of everything, but I think we have such a big vision. So like this is literally as much as people like to say, "Oh man, y'all been doing this forever. Y'all legends." Like we just starting. This is nowhere close to what you will remember Pivot at.
Where's that final vision leave you guys?
World domination.
What's that look like?
Pivotal.
Seeing all the things you've overcome, the things you've endured, the things you've accomplished. Obviously, you don't look at it too hard. You don't look at it too much. You don't reflect too much. But what would young Melo think of it all?
Bro, he'd be proud, man. He went crazy, man. He did a lot of cool things. He went on tour, dropped projects. He had a cooking show. I did a lot of cool things, man. You know what I'm saying? I got some money out of this. Got some fans out of this. I got some friends out of this. And I have a lot more life in me. So he would be proud. He would be very proud.
Hey, shout out Melo, bro.
Yeah, shout out Melo.
I appreciate the conversation, man. I appreciate you waiting on us. I know it took a minute. Go ahead, shout yourself out. Let the people know what they need to know, bro.
Hey, man, I'm motherfucking Melo from that West Side boy band Pivot Gang. This is going to keep going, man. New music on the way real soon. Limbo, the name of my next project.
Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you go ahead, check out motherfucking Melo, Mfn Melo.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, sad boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
Broken pieces, who's to blame?